This is a day in the life of a costumer during COVID for film and TV. 6:30 a.m., alarm goes off, and the cats are trained to wake me up when the alarm goes off. They don't bother me until then, but after the alarm goes off, I am fair game, and there is no snooze button. They're also less than subtle. It is then food time. That's their main incentive for waking me up at my alarm. And of course, they are spoiled rotten with their pretty plates and a full can of food in the morning and half a can at night. They will not eat it if it's been in the fridge. They won't eat it unless I smush it prettily for them and floof it up for them so that it isn't just can-shaped for some reason. They are absolutely spoiled rotten, and I love them dearly. They are pretty well trained, though. They will sit for a treat, as you can see William here do. Well, for his food, anyway. And they do wake me up to my alarms, which I do appreciate. They do serve their purpose and are very cute. Next up, I get fed. I usually stick with something simple, mostly for time. Then I get dressed. No pics for you, because that'd be weird. I usually wear a headscarf because I don't want hair in my face while I'm working, and it's usually just a little bit too long to stay out of my face otherwise. Naturally, everyone who is working has masks on. We also wear lanyards, which are color coordinated. These aren't them because security reasons, but for the most part, they are color coordinated as to where we're supposed to be and who we're allowed to interact with. They also have on them how often we're tested and what groups we're with. You may also see some of these popping up here and there throughout this video. They're basically times that I had something in the shot that you shouldn't see. So it is keeping you from spoilers and anything else that is a security risk or would breach my NDAs. By which I mean non-disclosure agreements. I love you guys, but I never want to meet those lawyers. Next up, we go to work. Then we get our temperature taken once we're there. That's the first thing that happens. Not sure why this guy from stock photos is headbutting the thing, but there we go. Once our temperature is taken, we are given a wristband. It's always kind of exciting to see what color we're going to get that day. If it is one of the 3 days a week I get tested, then I go and get my nasal swab for being tested. Not nearly as bad as advertised, I promise. Then I park in the spot that I'm supposed to park in. Now, just so you know, we're going to be moving on into my day of actual work. Now, I included nothing in here that would be a spoiler in any way whatsoever. I don't want to be that person, and not only that, but I want to be a responsible person to my NDAs. So what's included in this are things that are generally applicable to pretty much anyone who is working right now and what to expect, rather than specific things to the show that I am working on. First thing I do at work is wash my hands, singing Happy Birthday or ABCs or Twinkle Twinkle Little Star twice, or saying the intro to Avatar in my head naturally, or the chorus line to Jolene. I like to mix it up a little bit. Then the day starts more or less like any other day. I check my rack. This is an old rack, mind you. This is previous season's alterations and repairs from seasons even before when I was there. So no big surprises or excitement there, folks. But there might be some things that might show up there, as well as, especially on days that I have testing in the mornings. Next up, if I have fittings, my designer might stomp on a little footlight to summon me from the other room. It turns on little fairy lights, but for the most part, he usually just hollers, and I go and wash my hands, and I get kitted up with my mask and my shield and my gown and my gloves. I really like this one. I think it makes me look a little bit less scary as the person with all of the sharp objects to be a hedgehog. After the fitting, I clean all of the things that were in the fitting, so all of the tools, from the pins to the surfaces that the costumes might have touched, to the gowns and the tape measures, with a germicide, which is in the little spray bottle there. I also have multiple gowns so that I'm not like dripping in between fittings. Wash my hands again. One of the main tools that I've been noticing that is different than usual work is I tend to blow at lint a lot. That doesn't work with a mask, so I've been using one of these quite a bit. More so than you'd think. I also keep thread magic and beeswax everywhere, stuck on the machines, pretty much on most flat surfaces, so that when I am tempted to lick my thread, I have something there to be able to get a nice sharp point and thread my needle without any frustration. I clean all of the surfaces in between each actor, not between each alteration. So if I have a stack of alterations for one character, then I will work on that entire stack of alterations until I finish that one actor, and then I clean all of the surfaces, everything that I've touched, everything that the costumes have touched, all of my tools, very carefully cleaned with a alcohol wipe and left to dry for a little bit while I go grab the next thing and clean off the table as well. It takes a little while, but it's well worth it. And then, of course, more hand washing. Eventually, I get to go home, usually around 6:30. Then, first thing I do when I get home is toss my mask into the sink, take a shower so that I can get all clean from work. Then, I boil some water in the lovely electric tea kettle. Turns blue. I like that. While that is heating up, I feed the little monsters. This one's Agatha. She is the most insistent. While I do that, usually that's just the right amount of time for the water to boil, and I can grab that for cleaning my mask, which is in the sink still. I pour it over the mask that I've usually washed my hands over, so there's usually soap on it too. Take the old drying mask and add it to all of the other masks in the hall that I switch out daily. And then I take the mask in the sink, squeeze it out so that there's an extra, water on there, and hang it up. Then sometimes I spend some time playing around with YouTube videos. It's my newest hobby that has only kind of a tangential relationship to sewing, which is nice. And I get to see all of your comments, which is my favorite part. I look at the analytics and so forth and see how things are doing. Then I have some sword practice. I usually do at least 100 blows, sometimes upward of 500 to 800, depending on the night. That's very fun, also not completely related to sewing, so that's a nice thing for a change too. It makes me better at SCA fighting. And then, that's the end of the day. So I curl up with my cat and my other cat and usually fall asleep around 9. Sometimes it takes me a bit to find where to stick my glasses. Oh, I love it when his little tongue sticks out like that. He's so cute. Well, that is a typical day for me as a costumer during this weird times of COVID. I hope you enjoyed it and found it interesting, at least, as an insight into the industry and the world as it is right now.